Addressed to the Celestial Senate of Gods. A letter of resignation for Danston, formerly god of mid-morning, known currently as the god who went insane. Okay, you're probably all wondering why I did what I did. Fair, that's fair. After all, there hasn't been a mortal on the Celestial Senate since, well, that would be ever, wouldn't it? But times changed, my fellow deities, and as you'll soon learn, so does humankind. I know what you're thinking, humans are stupid. Can't argue that. But you're missing the point. See, the landscape has mountains, but the humans climb them. The seascape has waves, but the humans sail them. The starscape is pretty tourism-friendly, actually, but when you know it, the humans invented money. My point is, and trust me, I've got one, humans adapt. They learn, they change, and they're getting smarter. Meanwhile, you lot are still confusing them with bipedal lizards. So old-fashioned. Now, I don't expect you to agree. It's done, I'm over it, and I'm not coming back. But things are going to be different now, so it's only fair I leave you this record. Folks, we got competition. I've said it 1,000 times before, but who knows? Maybe this time you'll finally catch on. After all, you know the definition of insanity.
You know, I'm beginning to think this isn't actually a language.
This is Sharenna Birchwood, glowing with elegance and dripping with sarcasm. To Sharenna, everything is a wry sort of joke, like a game she's trying to win against herself. And you know what? It's usually a draw.
We haven't encountered punctuation for 17 pages, and you're just now coming to that conclusion.
This is Edrach Sharenna, straight of back and sharp of feature. If the immaculate waistcoat and polished boots don't tip you off, the condescension will. This man is cursed with royal blood, and he knows it.
Hush, Prince Edrach. No one likes a quitter. However, I do think the idea of a break has merit. We've been at this half the night, and in study time, that's a solid month or 3. I've been without nourishment.
Yes, I'll grab us some refreshments from the kitchens.
No need for the plural, sweet prince. You aren't in your family's mansion any longer. Kitchen will do nicely. Or culinary hole in the wall, if you'd prefer.
I'll stick with kitchens, thank you.
So traditional. But I'll train that out of you yet.
By the gods, Sharenna, do you even have food in this kitchen?
Hole in the wall. And no, eating's a social event. Drinking is equally enjoyable alone.
That's logic of a sort, I suppose. Speaking of, how is the scholar's life finding you, Lady Sharenna?
Well, I will admit it's strange to be challenged. I'm used to resigning myself to the ignorance of those around me. Being surrounded by my betters, well, that doesn't do wonders for one's pride.
Why, Lady Sharenna, I'm flattered.
Huh. You know what I mean.
Of course, but don't confuse status with ability. Just because your teachers may have a few extra letters by their names doesn't mean they have one whit more talent or intellect than you. They're just better at dressing it up.
Yes, I know. It's just a little intimidating is all.
There's no shame in that.
Speaking of shame, how are your parents?
Father insists I not worry about the kingdom one bit while I'm away. He believes my focus must remain firmly on my studies.
However...
I completely agree, of course. I just happen to be studying every court report I can get my hands on.
You really are the worst, aren't you?
Things are something of a mess, as usual, and I get the feeling that's how Father likes it. A messy kingdom is a happy kingdom, eh?
I'm not sure that's how it works.
Neither am I. And your family? How fares House Birchwood?
Oh, I imagine Father's rather busy convincing the rest of them that, despite studying the divine, I myself am merely mortal. Contrary to all appearances, I know.
Family expectations have a way of stirring up mixed emotions, don't they?
Oh, not at all. I actively resent them. It's very straightforward.
And on that note, Fundamentals of Transformation, I believe, was next on the list.
The very first page. We shall steal the secrets of the gods yet. Okay. Chapter 1.
Skip it.
What? No.
First chapters are, without fail, useless introductory drivel. It deserves a skim at most. In fact, I suggest we progress from the abstract study of transformation and learn through practice.
Are you quite sure? Last class I seem to recall most students doing little more than curling their hair. I lent out my flat iron 6 times. 6?
Practical experience cannot be underestimated, Lady Sharenna. Knowledge alone is purposeless. Action alone is ignorance. Both, however, that is wisdom.
Smart.
Thank you.
Okay. No time like the present. I suggest we begin with basic animal forms. Just let's refrain from any permanent alterations,
No need to be so sheepish, Lady Sharenna.
Oh, God. I just like being the teacher, Prince Edrach. Do not force me to act like one.
Yes, Lady Sharenna, I've been unfair. I shall put this clumsy wordplay out to pasture.
You think yourself clever, Prince Edrach. But I suspect I can bleat you at your own silly game.
Very good, Lady Sharenna. I believe that calls for a truce.
I should hope so. Now, which of us shall be the unfortunate target?
I volunteer. I imagine it's the gallant thing to do, no?
Why, Prince Edrach, up till now I didn't know you had an imagination. But yes, that will do nicely. Enjoy your fleeting moments of humanity. And? Did it work?
Do I look like a sheep? Wait, don't answer that one.
It didn't work. Why didn't it work?
Because you realized there's no physical property in existence that should cause me to spontaneously appear as a sheep. By all rules of logic and rationale, magic shouldn't even exist.
Yes, I know that.
There's your problem. You know it. But you must not let yourself believe it. To conquer magic is to
Conquer expectation. Spare me the summary, little teacher. I've stuffed my intellectual expectations into a mental closet as I ought. The gods make it look so easy.
It's in their nature. What makes the least amount of sense to them is the concept of sense itself. Magic is our chance to best them at their own game. However, so far, we're doing a rather poor job of it.
The gods are a conceited band of madmen who think ruling the world, humanity included, is their divine right. I would hardly hold them up as a shining beacons of scholarly perfection.
But you miss an important point. The gods are an immeasurably powerful, conceited band of madmen. That alone merits their examination.
Examine them all you'd like, Prince Edrach, but I'll have you remember that Sane City was founded on a 100% deity-free guarantee. Give them an inch and they'll have you worshipping the god of measurements in a heartbeat.
I have no intentions of submitting to the will of the gods. Merely contesting it.
The city of Sane. The city of Sane. Trying to puzzle that one out? Let me save you the trouble. You've never been there. See, when the humans sailed away, they kept going and going until the wind stopped spying on them and the rocks learned to keep their mouths shut. They found an island so far away from our, I'll just go ahead and say it, thrall, that the whole world is just quiet. Hushed ocean waters, big redwood evergreens with pine cones the size of your head, long, twisting roadways swallowed up by the night, save for a string of flickering lanterns, all cocooned in the musty scent of oil and tree sap. Godless in every sense. Of course, that was kind of the point. They've been busy out there, folks. One second there was nothing, then we blinked, and they got canals and shopping centers and a bunch of weird experiments hiding in the woods. It's known around Three Scapes as a shining beacon of cultural enlightenment, believe it or not, From the avant-garde architecture down to the goddamn manicured lawns. That's all thanks to the University of Sane, where they spend most of their time studying, well, studying us. I don't know about you, but I'm flattered. Try returning the favor. You just might learn a thing or two.
Ah, Prince Edrach. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten what today is. You do know what today is, yes?
I could give you a dozen answers you're not looking for. It's Saturday, it's breezy, it's less pleasant than it was a moment ago. But yes, I know what today is.
Prince Edrach, you're acting as though this is somehow my fault. I've been against this joint study from the beginning. Besides, I seem to recall monthly updates as an invention of your father.
I don't blame you for it. I do blame you, quite childishly I might add, for reminding me.
Points for honesty. But really, I find this whole tradition to be entirely too...
Traditional?
Exactly. How do you do that?
Lady Sharenna, our grandfathers founded this university. We aren't upholding the tradition, we are the tradition.
How honoured I feel to come from such a long line of fattened calves.
I don't suggest putting that in the report.
Fair enough. Now rest your royal bottom on this stool, so that we may begin.
Ah, you've a little picnic planned for us, I see.
Only if you brought the quaint finger foods. So, how to begin? How have our studies been faring this first month together?
I'd wager well would suffice. We can add a very if you're feeling particularly enthusiastic today.
Prince Edrach, I suggest something radical. A conversation free of barbed words and pointless jokes. A simple conversation about our lives. In case you are unaware, a conversation is when two people speak with lots of words about a subject and come to some new understanding.
This is a poor idea, as is your paradoxical treatment of your own rule set. That said, I accept.
Hooray. How are you?
Really?
I'm out of practice, okay? Barbless conversation is harder than it looks.
Perhaps we can remain focused on the report. I have a feeling until that's done with, neither of us will be getting lunch anytime soon.
And what have we learned from our studies thus far?
Nothing.
This doesn't give me much to work with.
Yes, it quite literally gives you nothing to work with, and if we keep wasting our time with letters like these, I strongly suspect nothing is all we'll have to show for ourselves.
I'm running out of teeth to pull, Prince Edrach. Surely you have gleaned a sliver of understanding from our studies.
Well, I would say, given the level of most of our classes, the art of feigning interest.
Something tells me you aren't taking this very seriously.
No, but I'm an expert at faking it. We can thank our teachers for that.
Prince Edrach?
My apologies, Lady Sharenna. Am I making it too interesting for you? I can be far more dull and plodding if you'd
Prince Edrach, that's enough. I'll write the damn letter. You spend the first half of the day avoiding me and seem intent on spending the second half belittling me. If you can't be adult enough to sit down and have a simple conversation, then I suppose I can be adult enough for the both of us.
Sharenna,
No. I've evidently wasted enough of your time. You've wasted more than enough of mine. Enjoy your errands, or whatever it is that's so terribly important. I need a drink.
And drink she did. Lady Birchwood drank the day away, and part of the night. It took a sunset to slow her down. That's something you'll need to remember about humans. They're strangely temperamental, temporally speaking. Give them too much time, or too little, and they throw it away, with buckets of alcohol or otherwise. Give them just the right amount, however, just the right push and pull of mortality, and they'll overthrow a kingdom in 24 hours. It's all in the timing.
Well, I'll be right where I left you.
Lady Birchwood, you know me too well.
I second that. Finishing the letter, are we?
Taking a stab at it. Although I can't say it's an altogether successful stab, more like a mildly irritating prick.
That does rather sound like you.
Suppose I deserved that.
Yes, you did. But who doesn't, from time to time? Can't exactly say I'm proud of my tantrum.
Would putting the past behind us be out of the question?
Of course not. Expecting me to resist dredging it up whenever rhetorically convenient, on the other hand. But, luckily for us, now is not such a time. A proper grudge must age, dear prince.
That's logic of a sort.
The stars are out. What time is it? How long did I spend drinking?
If you can't remember, my guess is quite long enough.
My father always said that the stars are a twinkling map to three scapes, that not even the gods have deciphered. I don't think he ever believed it, though.
My father always said they were pretty.
Not a champion of thought, King Dorilli.
He's a beloved king that rarely comes through overthinking.
Then, my dear Edrach, you are doomed royally.
There are more ways to rule than being loved.
Oh, how adorably tyrannical of you.
One need not be tyrannical to be effective, Lady Sharenna. My grandfather was proof enough of this.
Touché, good prince. Touché. The last thing this night needs is a feisty bout of politics. I'm bloody tired.
Good night, Lady Sharenna. Sleep well.
Good night, sweet prince. I promise to resume being entirely intolerable in the morning. Oh, and don't worry about the report. I already wrote and sent it. You came out glowingly.
I imagine that's about as reassuring as you intend it to be.
Precisely. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, holy hell, it's about time. I hate being a frog. And hey, you two are adorable together.
Noted. As for the matter at hand,
You know, those petty squabbles are one of the reasons I love you humans. You're so much like us. Why doesn't anyone else see this?
I get the feeling we just do our best to ignore the fact.
Hey, sometimes one good lie is all you need. It's not like my side of the family is eager to step foot over that comforting line in the sand. What can I say? I am theologically complex.
I need more time.
Excuse me?
Danston, I'm working exclusively from legend and myth. Locating the god of chaos is practically a paradox.
Quitter.
I merely think it...
I've been chasing this guy for years, Eddie. Hundreds, actually. I told you this wouldn't be easy, but you know the deal. The first to find him gets my seat on the Celestial Senate. Great deal for me. I hate those weirdos up there anyway. But a deal is, as they say, legally binding. And I can't be seen playing favorites. Either you find him, or someone else will.
Why? Why the contest? You're the god of mid-morning, Danston. I can only assume your powers extend beyond brunch.
Low blow, Eddie, but it's not that easy. Chaos is, well, just that. To a god, it's stimulation overload. Wobbly knees, migraines, blackouts, not even I know what comes next. Trust me, there's a reason I'm asking mortals for help in the first place.
Then it appears we need each other. I'm close, Danston. Just a day or two more, and the god of chaos is yours.
Fine. You get a little more time on the clock. But I need to move on before too long. If the rest of the gods figure out what I'm up to, there are some prices even I am unwilling to pay.
That is where we differ.